thing you said during this workshop is what couples could do in order to perceive and have a long-lasting relationship is to focus on the basic needs. And you said, understand me, experience me, and respond appropriate to me.
Yes.
What
It's
does
really
it mean?
safe attachment.
Could you?
I want you to talk about it because it's your book.
No, but we can do it, but just
Yeah.
1 second, because this is really a way of describing a safe attachment, how we attach. It means that I can hear your signals, and I can make sense of your signals, and I can respond. But I think you should say it in a way,
Okay.
because you
Okay.
gave that word.
Okay. Oh, you're so kind. Anyway, babies and adults want the same thing. In fact, I think this is the criteria for a soulmate. You know, we always talk about a soulmate. Tell me the Swedish word for soulmate.
Själsfrände.
Yeah, that there is a soulmate, and here are the criteria. Someone who experiences me, who is really tuned in to me, that when we're together, you really see me, and you really hear me. I mean, you've been so attentive to in this exchange. I mean, you're very present, you're very available. That's attunement. It's just tuning in, paying attention. Doesn't mean all the time you're watching each other like this,
Well,
but
doesn't
in the
mean
important
words either.
times.
Doesn't even
mean words. Doesn't even mean words. It means attention. You tune in to me. You're paying attention. You're interested in me. So that's the first one. You tune in. Number two. So number one, you experience me. You know, you're available. Number two, you get me. You pay attention long enough until you get me. You understand me. You talk about an aphrodisiac, a turn on. Somebody who really understands you and gets you. You know, like one of my examples of somebody getting me is that they think my little idiosyncrasies, my little habits are cute. You know, things that I might, like for example, I'm clumsy. Everyone that's close to me knows I don't like to carry a tray because I spill things. That's just who I am. Somebody who gets me and knows that about me would help me, because they would know that I wouldn't be wanting to carry a tray. You know what I'm saying?
They wouldn't blame you, they would help
right,
you.
yes. And they would be helping me, and maybe let me carry those two, glasses for you, So they get me.
But it could also be, but it could also be get me in a way that you have you were talking about conflicts before, you have a hurt, and you want to tell this hurt, and the other person gets that.
Yes.
It doesn't mean it's his or her fault, but it gets it.
Yes.
If I would say something painful here, and you would say, aha, and you would make sense of the feeling I'm having.
Yes.
That's also getting.
Yes, getting. Okay, so you understand me. And the third thing is, your behavior shows me that you get me and that you've been paying attention. You respond appropriately. Your behavior shows me that you really get me and you've been paying attention. And that's really what we want, because 80% of couples who divorce or separate said we grew apart, and that means you weren't paying attention, you didn't get me, and your behavior showed me that we weren't connected. Because if you'd been paying attention, you wouldn't have done that.
Right.
And the thing is, when we get this, a harmony starts to interact inside of us. And then other things that we used to get stuck with disappears. So it's really about tuning in each other's signals and differentiate and see that we are different people, and learning how to get somebody else. But also learn to say, how can I learn something about my own signals? How can I get my own behavior sometimes?
Yes.
So I can understand, why do I always do this, although that it doesn't work for me?
I had one last question,
Okay.
which I think was very funny, expressed by you, Pat. Is that we're living in the culture of the lollipop syndrome.
I love that. That's good. Yes.
So could you just tell the people who are looking at this, what is the lollipop syndrome?
Well, the lollipop syndrome is that you start sucking on one lollipop and you think, this is good. And after a while you go, I am sucking on the red one. Maybe it would be nicer to have the blue one or the green one. and you try, you start with one, and then you try this, and you try this, and you try this. Instead of going deeper with the first one, right? It's your expression. You say,
Right.
instead of go deeper with the first one,
Yes.
you know, and stay with that, so you have a chance
Yes.
to get to a good place
Yes.
here. You try this one and this one, and this is, if you look at the internet, Match.com or whatever, is a beautiful site, but it can also be a way of just going from one person to another, and you will never.
Like I can't commit to you because there might be a better one out there.
Exactly.
Or, you know, oh, this tastes good, but what about that green one?
Mhm.
Or if I get the green one, then, oh, yes, nice. But, you know, my girlfriend and I have a joke that you say, you get so picky. In fact, if you want to be in a relationship and you're not,
Yeah.
there are 3 reasons why you're not in a relationship. Picky, picky, picky.
Yeah,
Those
that's
3
good.
reasons. Those
That's
are 3.
good.
Because because with now that we can reach millions of people with the internet, you know, our population pool is unlimited. So there's this illusion that there's the perfect person out there, the perfect lollipop out there. And so you get this person and you start, if it gets a little difficult, oh, well, maybe I'll get the yellow one, you know. You go over there in the yellow one, well, maybe I can finally find a partner who loves me who isn't lactose intolerant. I mean, you get so,
Or too tall, or too whatever.
really,
Yeah.
or you know, loves whatever. You can just
Yeah. So
Change.
you can
What
just
would-
celebrate the stuff.
Give
that
some
we-
advice to the people who are living in the lollipop syndrome. And they are
Stay with the first one. Stay with it. See if you dare. I think that your expression, can you dare to be
loved.
loved?
Yes,
And to stay, and
Yes.
to stay, and to stay, and to look inside instead of just looking outside.
and by the way, let me tell you the danger of the lollipop syndrome. The more you go through an infatuation, the shorter it gets and the less intense it gets because you build up a tolerance. The more lollipops you have, by the time you're on the 8th or 9th lollipop, you're sick. And you long for the thrill of the first lollipop you ever had. That love's the same way. That's why we all remember our first love. It's like any drug. It's the first high that you always remember, but you build up a tolerance. So if you're sitting around waiting for someone to knock your socks off like the first lollipop, you're going to be disappointed. And the more you go through that falling in love, I call it the revolving door, that lollipop syndrome with this one, no, this one, no, this one, no, this one. There comes a point where you lose discernment, you lose objectivity, and you may have lost the love of your life. So if you go back to look at the 3 things, experience me, understand me, respond accordingly, and this creates love. It's 3 simple steps. But you have to wait. You got to stay with someone long enough for infatuation to pass because you don't know who you're with. But the good news in all of this is it's never, ever, I'm an example of this, never too late to learn. Never too late to have the love of your life.